Hello everyone, and welcome to the Only Thing Gaming channel. In today's video, we're talking about 10 things that made Clair Obscur Expedition 33 truly special. Features that we rarely or never see in other video games. I recently uploaded a full review of Expedition 33, but there were a lot of systems and design choices I didn't get the chance to fully break down. So in this video, we're diving deeper into some of these features, and I'll also be covering completely new details that deserve the spotlight. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. The game uses everything to serve the narrative. Expedition 33 tells a strong story, but what really sets it apart is how every single system exists to support that story. Pictos, Luminas, collectibles, music, even weapons, all tell their own stories or hint at future events. One of my favorite examples is Gustav's weapons. Unlike other characters, none of his weapons have unlockable special perks. At first, this felt strange, until you realize why. Gustav dies relatively early in the story, and that design choice quietly foreshadows his fate through gameplay. That's brilliant narrative design. And this isn't a one-time thing. The game constantly tells its story outside of cutscenes. Even song lyrics subtly hint at major events. Expedition 33 goes above and beyond to make sure the narrative is always present. The experience stays grounded. One thing that always bothered me in video games is when gameplay completely contradicts the narrative, and this happens a lot. Take for example Red Dead Redemption 2. The moment you take control of Arthur Morgan, you become a one-man army, mowing down hundreds of enemies. You just drink your snake oil and start wreaking havoc. But in the story, Arthur is portrayed as a vulnerable man who could realistically be overwhelmed by just a handful of people. The same issue appears in the 2013 Tomb Raider reboot. The narrative presents Lara Croft as a scared, inexperienced survivor, but the gameplay turns her into an unstoppable killing machine. Uncharted does something similar with Nathan Drake, a normal guy in cutscenes until you're controlling him. Expedition 33 avoids this problem almost entirely. The gameplay remains consistent with the narrative, minimizing contradictions between what the story tells you and what the game allows you to do. These contradictions are often unavoidable in games, which is exactly why it's so refreshing to see a game actively working to avoid them. Sound design actively supports gameplay. I mentioned this briefly in my review, but it's worth highlighting again because it's extremely rare. Certain enemy attacks are preceded by distinct sound cues, and those cues are essential for parrying. Some attacks are nearly impossible to react to visually, but if you're listening carefully, you can parry them consistently. This elevates sound design to a whole new level. It's not just about great voice acting or an incredible soundtrack. Sound is mechanically integrated into gameplay. Your ears become just as important as your eyes. Brilliantly designed combat. The combat system blends turn-based strategy with real-time combat mechanics. On your turn, you can slow things down, browse menus, and plan your next move. On the enemy's turn, the game demands your full attention, parrying and dodging in real time. But the brilliance doesn't stop there. Combat is designed to support exploration. Battles take place exactly where you're standing, meaning you don't risk falling off cliffs or losing progress. Outside of combat, you also can't take damage. No fall damage, no surprise ambushes. This allows exploration to feel free and stress-free, while combat remains focused and intentional. Both systems benefit from each other. Strengths and weaknesses. Like many RPGs and Souls games, Expedition 33 incorporates an affinity system that includes elements such as fire, lightning, earth, and ice. Enemies possess varying resistances to these affinities. Some take reduced damage, while others are completely immune. The game actively punishes poor tactical choices. Using the wrong weapon or element can result in enemies absorbing the attack and healing instead of taking damage. This mechanic forces players to think carefully about their loadouts and strategies. This feature adds an extra layer of depth to the combat system. I publish weekly gaming content on this channel. If you enjoyed this type of content, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment down below. Enemies as collectibles. The final unlockable character, Minoko, introduces one of the game's most unique mechanics. Instead of unlocking skills through a skill tree, Minoko absorbs abilities by collecting gestural feet from enemies, which she uses to transform into them and copy their attacks. It's a creative twist on collectibles and progression, however, it does come with a downside. You must keep Minoko in your party to collect these abilities, even if you'd rather use someone else. So while the idea itself is fresh and interesting, its implementation can feel a bit restrictive. Every system is connected. This is, in my opinion, the game's greatest strength. Sound design supports combat, combat supports exploration, exploration supports narrative and progression. In many modern games, systems feel disconnected, like separate mechanics stitched together. That's not the case in Expedition 33. Sound hints at story events, exploration rewards you with weapons, pictos, and upgrades. Each character's combat style is deeply rooted in their backstory, Gustav's gauntlet, Lune's magic, and so on. Everything works together, and that harmony is what elevates Expedition 33 into something truly special. Save system and organization. One feature I absolutely loved in The Witcher 3 was its generous checkpoint system, and Expedition 33 takes that idea even further. The game constantly creates backups, and you can even create multiple profiles, each with its own save history. During my playthrough, my save file actually became corrupted, and the only reason I was able to fix it was because the game had been saving backups for days. I could have returned to almost any point in my journey. It's a small detail, but one that shows how much care went into the player experience. And honestly, if I didn't face a problem with my own save file, I might not have even noticed it. Drawing inspiration from the best. Expedition 33 clearly draws inspiration from some of the best games ever made. Modern God of War games' influences are everywhere, from Metroidvania-style progression to yellow-painted climbable paths, tight squeezes, and environmental traversal. For example, this area reminded me of Helheim, a foggy area with a giant in the background, much like the Helheim bird from God of War. The game even inspired the pain cages from God of War. Those are collectibles you can access by destroying 3 seals to unlock your reward, much like the Norner chests in God of War. Red Dead Redemption 2 inspired the camp system. You can set up camp at any time, and character interaction change based on story progress, a powerful storytelling tool. Elden Ring and Souls games influenced progression, leveling, weapon upgrades, and even the pétanque, this game's version of the scarab beetle. And visually, parts of Lumiere, with their golden tones and floating structures, strongly evoke Lindell Royal Capital and Crumbling Forum Azula from Elden Ring. The game shows its inspirations proudly but still feels original. Impressive character models. Having 6 main characters, each with unique costumes, hairstyles, and incredibly detailed models is impressive on its own. But the game goes further. Character models visually change depending on how much damage they've taken. It's a small detail, but it adds weight, realism, and immersion. Just look at it for yourself. That's it for today's video. I know some of those things might be completely normal to have in a video game, but the way Expedition 33 combined them made the formula really special. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think made Clair Obscur Expedition 33 special. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.